Hi there, hello, how are you? I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day so far. Today, we are going to be reviewing this thing right here. This is a fairly expensive air purifier for your home or commercial business. They did gift it to me. I graciously accepted. I felt like I needed purer air in my home. I do have some opinions on it though. Is it worth it? Is it really? Should you spend like literally hundreds of dollars to make sure that you have clean air in your home? I think that is probably very subjective. One of the reasons why I graciously accepted this is, well, actually there's two main reasons. The first one, I'm always congested. I always have been. I've gone to specialists. I've gone to general practitioners and specialists, and I've had like whatever, you know, scans and stuff you get done on your face. And I just am like perpetually congested. So I feel like I'm allergic to something, but I don't know what that something is, that maybe it's got to be in the air and it would help with my breathing. The second reason is because I have dogs and I am absolutely paranoid that somebody's going to walk into my house and smell dog. But I don't like to just cover it up with scent. Like I almost am never burning candles or have like a plug-ins on or incense or anything like that to cover up the scent. I would like to remove the scent. I don't want it to smell. I don't want my house to smell like dog. So those were the main two reasons I was like, heck yes, let me test it out and see if it actually does. But then the third reason was because they promised that it could reduce cannabis smoke in the air. And I was like, damn, you know what? Actually, so many people ask me how to keep my house smelling good, smelling nice. And while I do have some tips and tricks and stuff for that, could an air filter, well, hello liver, could an air filter basically solve all of that problem? So I guess we're gonna see. So first, let me explain this thing. What are we looking at? What is this big white cube? Oh, but first I actually have some B-roll of me putting this thing together. It was incredibly easy. If I can do it, you can do it. I barely even needed instructions. The packaging itself actually provided enough instruction that you could put it together without even needing to consult YouTube for it. But here you are. In case you needed to know how to put it together, there you go. It's really easy. The specs on this. This unit's 15 by 15 by 19. It weighs about 38 pounds. It's very mobile, has wheels. The plug is actually quite long. They do say it's quiet though. That little spec there, I would say, is up for debate. On its loudest setting, it sounds like I have a jet plane, airplane in my house, but it is sucking in a whole lot of air and purifying it at an absolute rapid speed at that point. So if I'm like guessing that company is about to come over and I'm paranoid again because the dogs are here, I might kick it up to like its highest speed in order to purify the most air as quickly as possible before they get here, and then I'll kick it back down to the wisp air speed. Just for your own knowledge, this is what the speeds sound like. We have it plugged in, it is on, but it is not turned on, it is turned off. This is wisp air. If we kick it up to low, this is medium. This is when it kind of starts getting loud, and then this is jet plane mode. It does say that it goes between 54 decibels and 62 decibels, so that's your sound warning on it. We did have it in the bedroom on wisp air mode for a little while, and it was fine. It was like fan white noise. The whole point to getting an air purifier though is to like literally purify the air, remove all of the particulates. But if you're just purifying the air and pulling all of those particulates out of the air, then what? Like they get trapped in the filter, right? This one has two different filtrations, two stages of filtration included. Your unfiltered air is first going to pass through the patented air cartridge, which uses earth mineral technology to trap and neutralize and kill contaminants. Then it goes through the HEPA filter to capture air particulates like dust and dander. It filters up to 1,000 square feet with 3 to 5 exchanges per hour. So the air is like getting scrubbed clean. This is actually hospital grade. I didn't even tell you that. Hospital grade quality, commercial. You can put this in like your daycare. You can put it in your, obviously in your house. I tend to like to keep it downstairs so that it's not only doing like our bedroom. That's where we primarily smoke. That's kind of the reason why I kept it in our bedroom at first, even though it's nowhere near 1,000 square feet and it was being underutilized to all hell. But I wanted to make sure that the house didn't smell like cannabis smoke at all. And then we ended up moving it to our foyer. And when we moved it in there, it's kind of like a central location. I feel like it does cycle through the air in the entire house. Even though my house is just shy of 2,000 square feet. This thing works for the full 2,000, even though it says that it cycles 1,000 square feet of air very well. That would probably only work if you have like a central location where you have a lot of the open air space in your house, like the foyer or like the stairwell, like the hallway stairwell kind of a situation. So they say it's effective against mold, cooking odors, viruses, bacteria, formaldehyde, chemicals, pollen, pet dander, fungi, dust mites, ammonia, smoke, and dust. That seems to cover quite a bit of the reasons why we would put something like this inside of our home. So I guess to break down the point, like, would it be worth having something like this in your house? There's some pros and cons to it. One of the pros is that it only costs about $10 a month. If ran constantly on high, it costs you $10 per month to operate. So it's incredibly low. Because we have this now, we're replacing our furnace filters less often because we've noticed over the last few months that they don't even really get dirty at all. So it's doing a great job at purifying the air. It has very low maintenance and upkeep. It actually neutralizes and kills contaminants, which most air purifiers don't do that. They don't like scrub it clean, hospital grade kind of style, which makes me feel a lot better, because if there is anything in the air that I'm unaware of that could be causing us to get sick, like pollen or even mold in the air, then I know that this thing could get it, could trap it before it actually harms us. So we did a few different tests on this. The first test was us getting it and using it for probably about 6 weeks to 2 months and seeing how we felt. And I'll be honest, I was expecting an immediate result. I was expecting to wake up the next morning and be like, oh my God, I could breathe a lot easier. The house smells wonderful. But I couldn't really tell any difference at all. Daryl fought me on this. I'm not kidding. He fought me on this so hard because I was dogging on it. I was like, dude, I don't think that anything has changed. I don't feel any different. He said it's been 1 day, give it a damn chance. It hasn't even been a day. It was like 12 hours at that point. I don't really know how much benefit it can even give me. I was fairly skeptical, but I wanted to see if my breathing would get any better, if the house wouldn't smell like dog, and if it could actually scrub cannabis smoke out of the air. So giving it a chance, I was like, fine, I'll give it a month, and then I want Andrew to try it. Andrew is my brother-in-law, Daryl's brother. He's in an apartment. His roommate smokes cannabis and he has 2 cats. So he was looking for something that would actually clean the air, make his apartment smell really nice. And also he has a slight allergy to cats. So he has his 2 cats. He needed to kind of figure out how to be less congested. So he was very excited at the concept of testing this out for us and giving us his full opinion on it. And he wholeheartedly put a stamp of approval on it. He said that his roommate usually would smoke at about 1-ish in the afternoon, and then Andrew would get home from work about 3-ish in the afternoon, but the roommate will have been gone at that point, and every time he would walk in his house, he would just smell cannabis smoke. He is a former smoker, and it doesn't really bother him that much, but when you walk into your home and that's the first thing you smell, it kind of puts you in a little bit of a different, like, mind perspective. It kind of takes your day from like, fresh, clean, relaxed, and I'm home, to like the smell. So he said not only did it help his allergies tremendously, because he started doing like it's a work from home part of the time kind of a job. So now he's at home a lot of the time. Helped his allergies a ton, helped his house not smell like cannabis. He also food preps all the time. Like, he's so consistent about actually cooking and food prepping. Girls, he is single. He is a prize worth catching. If you're in our area, check those dating apps for Andrew. Andrue. Okay? His roommate said that he loved it. Andrew loved it himself. And then we asked for it back so that I could do this video. And I was still kind of on the fence, because even though we had tested it for the first like month and a half and really sat down and discussed it, like I was discussing this dang thing almost every single day. And then we gave it away. And I realized how neurotic I was getting at the smell in the house again without even realizing that I was doing it, that I was like running around and cleaning a lot. I was dusting more. We were noticing smells on things that we didn't really notice before. Like, we got this rug that's in here right now is a fairly new rug. And did you know that most things are made with formaldehyde? And when things like are off-gassing, that smell that you smell, I've heard that it's the formaldehyde. Not to scare you, but we didn't know that that's what that was. We didn't know, like, we rolled this thing out and it smelled for like 2 or 3 solid weeks. And then we got this thing back and we put it in here and it took the smell away. I don't feel like I have any of that off-gassing or that weird, like, it almost smells like melted plastic, you know? Yeah, so once we returned it, I actually fell in love with it. I think it took like losing it for me to realize that I absolutely loved it, that I adored it. So then yeah, yesterday actually I filmed a video and I decided to put this thing to the test. I dragged it back upstairs and I smoked a pre-roll and probably another half of a pre-roll between these 5 cones that I had gotten from 86 brand, and it had distillate in it. And when you smoke a cone that has distillate sprayed on CBD flower and it's paper, you get so much smoke and it's so stinky and it's like heavy and overwhelming and it settles into your fabric. That's one thing that you should be like cognizant about, is that it settles into your clothing, your hair, your carpeting, your bedding, your drapes, like anything drapes. Do we call them drapes anymore? We call them curtains. We're not in like the 1950s. I'm not Nana. Not just cannabis scent, but like cooking smells and stuff. They settle into the fabric. So unless you can clean that air before it settles into the fabric, then you pretty much just need to clean the fabric. So I do not smoke pre-rolls in my house. I just don't. I do not smoke papers in my house. But yesterday it wasn't in the cards for me and I wanted to record this video, and I tend to really only like to record any sort of cannabis video when I don't have my kids around and I don't have any adult like responsibilities. So I had that chance then and not any other time. And I don't want it to permeate into the bedding and the carpet, because then I have to pay somebody to come actually steam clean the carpet, and doing that for my house once pays for this entire thing. So I figured I dragged this thing up there. I smoked a whole pre-roll. I smoked 2 or 3 hits off of 4 more pre-rolls, and at the end of the video, like, it was kind of cloudy in my room. I had been smoking over the course of like 40 minutes and it was pretty cloudy. I had this on wisp air in the background because I didn't want it to like be the sound of it being in the video, you know? So I had it on wisp air, so it was doing the minimal amount of work. And as soon as I was done recording the videos, I left the room for about 45 minutes, walked into the room, no more cloudiness whatsoever, hardly any cannabis smell whatsoever, which after 45 minutes, damn impressive. We left, went for a bike ride for about 30 minutes, came back, and the smell was entirely gone, and we moved the thing back downstairs. The air just felt clean, it felt sanitized, it felt like I hadn't smoked in it at all. So I was very, very pleased. It passed the test, it passed the cannabis smoking test, it passes the house test. I was skeptical, I wanted to hate it, but I can't. So then I guess that's it. That's everything you need to know about the Enviroklenz air purifying technology that we have going on here. I will have a link for this Enviroklenz little device down below, some of the details for it as well in the description box and the pinned comment. Thank you to all of my patrons for making videos like this possible. Thank you to all of you for being here. Please consider hitting subscribe before you leave if you're into this type of video. And yeah, I guess I'll see you next time. Love ya. Bye.